The magic of Mike and Priscilla's relationship, as we have heard, began after their first date at the Calgary Stampede in the summer of 2002. However, there's a lot more that led up to their first date than what I told you earlier this evening. Now, Priscilla first remembers Mike from as early as grade 7. Check that double take, yeah, from as early as grade 7. Now, they were in class together. I believe it was homeroom. She's not 100% sure on the details. And Mike was disciplined for talking too loud. Now, Mike's first memory of Priscilla is from grade 10. They had several mutual friends and he would occasionally pass her in the hallway. And now in Mike's defense, he does admit that up until grade 12, he was often more preoccupied with snowboarding than girls. So, no fault on you. But towards the end of grade 12, Mike began to take notice of Priscilla's beauty and gentle personality. He had also heard through their mutual friend, Lauren, that she was planning on going to grad with on a not so great situation with her then ex-boyfriend, who in Priscilla's words was, I quote, not a great character. Lauren was concerned about Priscilla going with her ex, but like a true gentleman, Mike offered to step in and take Priscilla to grad in her ex's place. If you don't believe me, you can actually hear it for yourself.
She was annoyed that she was going with this other guy. I said that I wasn't planning on going with anybody, and I would love to take her if she felt like she wanted to go with me. And she wanted to just, tell that guy to kick rocks and not even bother.
There was one little hiccup though. Mike never asked Priscilla directly. So when she heard about Mike's offer through Lauren, she thought it was out of pity.
We didn't go together to prom. I went because I thought it was out of pity, so I said no. So I went with the guy that was the character. And he stared at my date the whole time, wanting to beat him up or manhandle him, or they just glared at him because they were... It was an awkward situation, but I learned that he was a very decent guy from that situation.
Mike's request and staring down her ex caught Priscilla's attention. He was sincere. They began to speak regularly by telephone and go swimming with their mutual friends late in the evenings at the television set. A few weeks later, they agreed to accompany Lauren and her boyfriend to the Calgary Stampede. They had an incredible time together, and Mike managed to win a few stuffed animals for Priscilla, and as you now know, their first date ended with Mike giving Priscilla a goodnight kiss.
The first time that Priscilla and I kissed was when I walked her back to her car after we went to the Stampede on our first date, and I asked her if she would like to start going out more steadily. I leaned in, and I think she thought that I was going to go for her cheek, and I just went for it and gave her a kiss.
For Priscilla, it was a very special moment, as it was also her first kiss ever.
It was unexpected because it was our first date, and it was my first kiss, so.
When asked how their impressions of each other have changed, Mike says,
My impression of Priscilla has changed dramatically. She's gone from being someone that I passed in the halls to her becoming my best friend, my lover, my confidant, to someone that I can't imagine not being there for the rest of my life.
And when asked how her impression of Mike has changed, Priscilla answers,
Since first meeting MJ, my impression of him has grown greatly. I knew he was always a very funny guy, but over the years, in all the situations we've been in, he's always come back with some kind of humor about every situation.
Priscilla was and continues to be attracted to Mike's humor. After 13 years, she confesses that she doesn't notice any of his quirks anymore. Mike finds, in a quirky type, and going more to quirks again, Mike finds the way that she pronounces some words super adorable. For example, when they're in an Italian restaurant, and you may have got this joke a little bit earlier, Priscilla will instead of saying Parmesan, she'll say Parmesan. And other things that he finds absolutely adorable. One challenge in the relationship remains agreeing upon picking a movie. Despite Mike really disliking most of Priscilla's choices in movies, there is a silver lining in one. A few months after seeing each other regularly, Priscilla and Mike were snuggling up on the couch at Priscilla's place. And they were likely watching A Walk to Remember. I'm not 100% sure on the film, he isn't either, but he's pretty sure. Partway through the movie, I don't understand the exact circumstances, but there was a moment where they each said, "I love you," for the first time. The realization that they wanted to marry didn't happen in a specific moment, but rather in a very gradual and deepening of the love they felt for each other. For Mike, it took a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that. His extended trips away, working in Fort McMurray, created a longing for Priscilla's companionship.
I don't think that there was a specific moment when I decided that I wanted to marry Priscilla. A few years ago, when I started working away up north, and she would send me love letters and notes and care packages with candy and magazines and movies and video games, and I knew that she was worth going through all of this to keep her, because she was willing to put that effort in every week. When I would go away and come back after a few weeks, it was an incredibly special thing, even more than it was, when we were seeing each other every day. I would come home and she was so excited to see me every time I came home. When I came back, I wanted to spend every minute that I could with Priscilla.
From Mike, Priscilla has learned the strength of love.
With MJ, because we started dating so young, we grew up together and we learned a lot of things together. So he taught me how to love someone, and as the years passed, I learned how strong love is, where we can every day feel more love for each other. So he definitely taught me how powerful love is, and I learned how strong one's love for another can be.
Moving forward to Christmas morning, 2014. I forgot to ask you. 2014. Mike decided to propose. He was certain that Priscilla's answer would be yes, but he was nervous about the planned surprise and how about to do it and making sure that it went smoothly.
My biggest fear about what might go wrong when I proposed to Priscilla was the ring would fall off the dog as she was running down the stairs to give her the ring, and that I would come down behind, she would be petting the dog, and the whole special event of trying to include the dog in the proposal would have been ruined, and I was worried she wouldn't read the note that I wrote on the front of the collar that contained the ring, and that she'd just open it like it was another present.
But for Priscilla, it was the perfect proposal.
Our proposal took place Christmas morning after we'd opened all of our presents. MJ said that he was going to go grab something from upstairs, and he told our two dogs to go follow him. Lily didn't follow him because she had taken her interest in some new toys that we'd given her for Christmas. Callie went upstairs to follow MJ, and I heard some commotion, and I turned around to see Callie running downstairs with a bag attached to her with a message on it. and it said, "Will you marry my daddy?" I was so surprised with the message, and it took me a few moments, and I think I scared him because I didn't give him an answer, so he had to ask me again. I told him, yes, I would marry him. It was the perfect proposal in our house on my favorite holiday.
So I invite you to raise your glasses. Your glasses with me. Mike and Priscilla, may your marriage always be as strong as your love is in this moment. And may the love between you continue to deepen. Cheers.